ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NoHo Rag with Alec Rydell. We're coming at you live from the majestic mountains of North Hollywood to bring you an extra special holiday episode. That's right, folks, it's Christmas, which is not only the happiest time of year, but also a time of year that is responsible for a depressive disorder known only as SAD. And let me tell you, we at the NoHo Rag were incredibly sad when we read through the Senate CIA torture report, which was a terrifying and gruesome read, though admittedly not as gruesome as the Game of Thrones. Now, most of what's happened in the report we've already heard since 2009, but there is one new addition that deserves some notice, and that is rectal rehydration, which, frankly, needs no more explanation than that. But now, this was so prevalent in the report that any time a prisoner ate or drank through the mouth, it was referred to simply as the normal way. Ooh. Now, luckily, it was pretty easy for the Senate to research all these torture reports, as it was just straight out of Dick Cheney's private journal, where, among frilly drawings of flowers, oil wells, and unicorns, and countless scribblings of Mrs. Dick Halliburton, were these tales. Luckily, we don't have such bad news coming out of Peru, where Greenpeace set out to protect the Nazca lines from interlopers. Wait, no, scratch that. Greenpeace were the interlopers at Nazca, screwing up these ancient mounds for their own gain to send out their own message. I mean, come on, guys, you're just telling people we want to save the environment. Do you have to screw up these ancient things just to send out your message? I mean, come on, you're starting to turn into the PETA of environmental groups, and no one wants that, trust me. Now, as you may recall, back in the November elections, the people of Washington, D.C. voted overwhelmingly to legalize marijuana. So naturally, the House of Representatives decided to completely laugh in the face of the will of the people and ignore it. Because in the $1.1 trillion spending bill that recently passed through Congress, there's a provision written by a representative firmly in the pocket of Big Pharma, which simply states, nah, you guys aren't going to get weed. So you keep on enjoying that taxation without representation, guys. Now, to check back in with a story we've been following for quite some time, let's look at the Sony Pictures hack, where Sony has now kowtowed to the hackers' demands that they cancel the Christmas Day release of The Interview. Way to go, guys. You let the terrorists win. But to look into some more upbeat entertainment news, let's look to Paramount Pictures, who are so confident and cocksure in their product that they're actually shipping Transformers: Age of Extinction for Best Picture, which is just completely ridiculous and audacious, and you know what, actually, we respect that. That's just crazy enough that it might work. Good on you, Paramount. Well, things are seeming a little dire in this hemisphere, so let's check in with Europe to see just what exactly is going on over there. I'm sure we can find some good news in Sweden. Sweden sounds good this time of year. Oh. Well, it seems like Swedish authorities have actually raided the Pirate Bay's servers, which means that neckbeards the world over will have to find other websites to download torrents for films that they didn't want to pay for in theaters. Which, come to think of it, is actually pretty much the problem that Sony's having right now, so we'll call that one a draw. But I think it's probably best that we sidestep the news for now and check in with our very own investigative journalist, Gil Chambers, who has a special Christmas scoop that I'm sure no one's going to want to miss. Let's check in with him to see what he's found out.
While I was watching a colleague's interview, I was struck with an old familiar feeling. It was time to dust off the old investigative journalist jacket and get to the bottom of this Santa's ho-ho-ho scandal. My initial search on the internet came up with a lot of dead ends. Even my wife's Facebook and email were clean. Too clean. The only way to break this narrative wide open was to get my hands dirty. Barbara was smart. She kept any signs of infidelity secret, but my investigative skills were slowly untangling this string of lights and illuminating some answers.
Cheryl, no. Gil is much smaller.
I was tired of all the reindeer games with this secret Santa, so I set a trap to snare the true culprit and hoped I could finally put this narrative to bed with sugar plum fairies dancing in its head.
Barbara? Are you here, Barbara? I've got a little package for you, my dear. Oh, why, Barbara, your breasts look absolutely heaving in that.
Wrong stocking's being stuffed. Why don't you go ahead and have a seat?
Why, of course, little Gilly.
Santa, let me start off by saying thank you for joining me for this interview.
Of course, Gilly. It wasn't quite my choice, but anything to spend time with the little people.
Look, I'm gonna get straight to it. You sleep with women, and you've not denied it. How do you sleep with so many women in one night around the world?
Why, anything is possible with the magic of Santa.
Cut the bullshit, Santa. We all know magic isn't real.
Oh, fine. When you get to be my age, sometimes you have little problems going off a bit too early, if you know what I'm saying. But then, with the sheer magnitude of women that I sleep with, that certainly isn't a problem at all.
And what does Mrs. Claus think of all this?
Oh, she doesn't know. She's not the one who can see when you're sleeping, and she never will know.
What about milk and cookies? Is that some kind of a signal? Some kind of a poo-tang flag for you?
Of course not. Are you daft? Milk and cookies are simply delicious.
Why give kids presents?
Well, I have a crack team of lawyers who informed me that it is far better to give children a present ever so often, once a year, as opposed to just giving them child support payments.
Aha! So you admit that you have illegitimate children?
All children are legitimate in the eyes of Saint Nick.
Cut the crap, Santa. This is about destroying families and...
Dad?
William! Get to bed! Daddy's working!
Santa!
Billy! Come here, my boy.
What did you give me, Santa?
William,
Got
go to...
something special for you.
Go to bed, William!
It's that baseball you wanted.
You read my letter!
You told me you wanted Legos, William! Get to bed!
You're not my real dad, Gil!
Don't you ever call me Gil!
There, Billy. I think you'd better do as Gil says. Now you go to bed and have a wonderful night's sleep, and have a Merry Christmas.
Go to bed, William! Mom! Barbara!
Gilly, I think it's high time you and I had a serious talk.
You and me both, Santa.
Did you ever find it strange that Billy was born at the end of September?
No.
Or that he had rosy cheeks and a jolly laugh?
I thought he got into my liquor cabinet.
Oh, please, Gil. I licked Barbara's cabinet with my Yule log. And let me tell you something else, boy. I've got more than just the nice and the naughty list.
What?
I've also got a shit list. Population, you bitch. I'm gonna smash you over my knee like I did those gooks in Korea.
Well, I'm terribly sorry about this, folks. I was hoping we could give you at least some good news before we went off on a mid-season break, but, I guess it's just not going to be the case. I guess the NoHo rag's falling more on the sad side of the season, so, I'm just want to apologize for... Wait, what's that? Really? Oh, that's fantastic news. Never mind, folks. As it turns out, President Obama is starting to normalize relations with Cuba, which means that before long, American tourists will be able to enjoy those pristine beaches, but more importantly, they'll be able to bring back up to $100 worth of Cuban alcohol and tobacco products. Now, luckily, we here at the NoHo Rag are always prepared for a situation like this, so I say it's time we celebrate with a Cubano. Oh, well, that's it for our show tonight, folks. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever you happen to celebrate, and a Happy New Year. As always, I'm Alec, and this has been the NoHo Rag.